Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this video, we're going over the new Fiend Smith archetype. So we're gonna get started here with the first real main monster of the deck, and this is the level 6 light fiend effect monster. You can discard this card, add one Fiend Smith spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So that's great, it has instant search ability straight to the spell and traps. The second effect here is that you can target one Fiend Smith equip card you control and one monster on the field, send into the graveyard. So hopefully there is an equip card that benefits from being sent to the grave. Otherwise, this is a form of removal that is non-destruction, non-banishment. One of the best forms of removal, just being able to send it directly to the grave. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your grave into the deck / extra deck and special summon this card. So not only that, but it's also pretty easy to get out. So pretty powerful monster. If this is going to be like the main monster for the deck, this is definitely a strong one to have here. And here is the fusion monster, Fiend Smith Lacrimosa, which looks to be like the same guy. So this is a level 6 light fiend fusion effect monster. It requires 2 light fiend monsters. If this card is fusion summon, you can target one light fiend monster in your graveyard or banishment and either add it to your hand or special summon it. So we have some recurring value that gets out of this card. It looks like you're going to really want to go into this early, just maybe to get that back. And then monsters your opponent control lose 600 attack as well. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your grave into the deck / extra deck and inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. So it looks like, yeah, you do really want to go into this kind of early on, just so that you can hit your opponent for 600 attack. And then so that you can also inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. And then from there, maybe build off on that. And then here we have the Fiend Smith Dies Array. This guy looks pretty wild. It just looks like he's killing some demons, or he has like the weapon here, this sort of axe type weapon. That's also a chainsaw. So this requires the Fiend Smith plus 2 light fiend monsters. Its quick effect here is that you can negate the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field up until the end of this turn, up to the total link rating of the link monsters equipped to discard those equip cards. It looks like you're going to be able to attach cards to this guy, and if you do so using link monsters, then you can actually negate a lot of cards here. So that's potentially pretty good. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your grave into the deck or extra deck, then target one card of the field and send it to the grave. So again, that sort of non-destructive removal. Have some pretty good recurring value out of these cards, even when they're in the grave. So here is the link one that I'm guessing it's going to be able to be attached to it. Looks pretty cool. It looks like this screaming demon coffin. Its name is Fiend Smith Requiem. So this is a link 1 light fiend link effect monster with 600 attack, 1 light fiend monster. So you can use it using the main monster. And then during the main phase quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one Fiend Smith monster from your hand or deck. So that's great, straight way to go into your Fiend Smith monster. And then you can target one non-link light fiend effect monster you control and equip this card from your field or grave to that target as an equip spell. So that's great because you're going to obviously be able to attach this to this fusion monster here, and then upon doing so, you're going to be able to negate one card on the field. That's pretty cool. It's a quick effect, and yeah, we're just going to be able to do this even if it's sent to the graveyard. And now here is the link to Demon Smith Sequentia, or the Fiend Smith Sequentia. It's bottom left, bottom right, and it needs 2 monsters including a light fiend monster. During your main phase, you can fusion summon one Fiend Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling materials mentioned in it from the grave into a deck. So that's great. You're going to be able to fusion summon out those Fiend Smith monsters that we saw pretty easily, and you're also able to link this away by using this guy here. So we can get out our Fiend Smith Requiem and then use the effect here even when it's in the grave to equip it. So that's pretty cool. You're going to be able to utilize that effect. And then fusion summon into that fusion monster that we saw here. One non-link light fiend monster you control and equip this card from field or grave to that target as an equip card. And then your opponent cannot target the equip monster with card effects. So again, just like the other link one, you're going to be able to attach it to it. And the great thing about it is that you can do this when it's in the grave. So you can just link this away, use it, maybe get out your link 3, and then use the effect here to power up this guy so you're just able to negate more cards on the board. So here we have Fiend Smith Tra. So you can add one light fiend monster from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. So this looks like a generic rota for light fiend monsters, and I know that Fabled for the most part seems to be light fiends, so you can do that to search it out and then discard one of your Fabled monsters as well. And if it's like a Cerberus or something, you can benefit from discarding it. So pretty cool, like generic indirect support. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one Fiend Smith fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So it looks like this is also going to be treated as your fusion spell, so you're not going to have to completely rely on that link too. And here we have Demon Smith Sanctus, or Fiend Smith Sanctus, which looks like the 2 little demons here. If you control no face-up monsters or all face-up monsters you control are light fiend monsters, you can special summon one Fiend Smith token with the properties of a fiend, light level 1 with 0 attacks or defense. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except with fiends, essentially locking you into fiend monsters. But really, if you're going first, it's not too big of a deal. And if a face-up Fiendsmith monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card. So you can get a good amount of recurring value out of this just so that you're able to recycle this and keep bringing out tokens. So here we have Fiendsmith in Paradism. So this lets you target one level 7 or higher light fiend monster you control and send all cards on the field to the grave except for that monster. So it looks like this is going to be a powerful board wipe for the deck. Yeah, level 7 or higher light. I'm guessing the only thing that we have for that is the fusion monster here. And yep, looks like this is the only target. Curious if there are other archetypes that are going to be able to utilize this effect, but otherwise you are able to search this out using the original monster we saw. And if your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, send one fiend monster from your deck or extra deck to the grave. So you can obviously pitch your another copy of this Fiend Smith Sequentia, and then from there be able to attach it. Looks like you're going to be wanting to run a lot of these copies of these link monsters here, so just so you can bring out more, and really so you can power up the negates of this guy, because he can be pretty powerful if you can boost him up with a bunch of negates on him. But otherwise, let me know what you guys think about the archetype. I think it seems like a pretty fun archetype to test at the very least. I'm curious to see what it's going to be able to really do in the competitive setting. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.